Now we see the greatest debt spiral into history, and it's it's now terminal. This is coming by Rebound Homestead YouTube channel content accredited. Okay, but we see if you're going to go out, you might we might as well go out with style. Our national debt stood at 331,446 639 287 894.39, I guess, trillion dollars. At the start of June, it's now at 33 436 530 530 530 987 $617.43 trillion. That that implies that that it implies that in just 3 months we have added nearly $2 trillion to the national debt. And counting. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, whether you talk about debt now or debt then, it still ain't going down, is it? You know what I'm saying? It only seems to go up. It is a it is the largest single debt in our planet's history, and it will never be paid off. Our debt spiral has reached its terminal point, and the only thing we can do now is, you know what I'm saying, prolong the suffering. We destroyed a beautiful future that our children and grandchildren were meant to have a long time ago. So, what we do now doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? What our leaders are doing, you know what I'm saying, are doing to us in more ways than one. We should rephrase that. Been been doing to us, you know what I'm saying, to us, is a crime against humanity. That is something that they have been always doing. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. And I'm not only referring to the United States, politicians all around the world have been on the largest debt binge in human history. And for many years, it appears like they were getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? However, interest rates are rising and the bond markets are in chaos. The following is a CNN report. You know what I'm saying? Of course. A global slump in government bonds has driven up the cost of some nations' debt to levels not seen in more than a decade. That's bad news not only for government in debt, also millions of mortgage borrowers, stock investors, and business. The sell the sell-off has been, you know what I'm saying, spurred by investors' predictions that the world's main central bank will keep interest rates higher for longer in other in order to achieve their inflation target. Government issued bonds or government issued bonds to raise money for public investment and services. You know what I'm saying? A bond a bond allows you to borrow. A bond allows you to borrow from investors for specific periods of time in exchange for a commitment to make regular interest payments. You know what I'm saying? So they're making money off the interest. You know what I'm saying? If this trend if this trend continues, governments all around the world will face massive issues. You know what I'm saying? When interest rates rises, investors' e- expectations, just the investors' expectation for bond returns, known as yields, rise as well. The offer and incentives for investors to sell their existing bonds and purchase new issued ones with greater interest payments. Bond prices fall when bonds are sold. In other words, as rates raise, bond prices fall. And yield have, undoubtedly been, the yield have undoubtedly been rising. The 30-year U.S. government bond yields, often known as treasury bonds reached 5% on Tuesday for the first time since 2007. You know what I'm saying? This week, the yields on 30 years, government bonds in the kingdom, surpassed 5%. You know what I'm saying? The highest level of more than a decade in itself. German terms, even the German long-term bond yields have returned to levels last seen over the eve of the European debt crisis in 2011. Okay. To me, all I see is a bunch of trickery and straight bullshit. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? These people are running around our country in affiliation with each other, you know what I'm saying, and just doing straight bullshit. You know what I mean? Robbing and stealing from the world in all ways. You know what I mean? In all ways. You see Fox News drop recipe on GOP claims that Hillary Clinton, it threats to democracy. You know what I'm saying? Well, I see it that way. They've always been. It ain't just her. That's right there to say, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. But they say, so we just gonna have to play it this way. And this is coming in by Ben one day ago. Blanchard or whatever his name, Blanchard, Blanchard, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But Fox News, Jesse Taylor, uh, Charlie or whatever, and Tolloy, listed Republicans, listed Republican virtue attack against liberals as she went as she went to bat for the and Democrat Hillary Clinton, who recently a deprogramming deprogramming of the cult members of the Trump administration. The programming, what good would that do? If anything like that is just silly to me, because when you really look at the fact of what you're doing, how in the world does anyone else not see it? It ain't got nothing to do with equality. That is your group. You're using words that refer to you. You know what I'm saying? But people are seeing it all around the world. It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? The greatest population of people see the madness in itself. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Kill every single body? I guess so. Scare everybody into listening to you only? It still come up to the same thing. The people are still going to see it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? They're going to see it. You know? So we have to look at that. You know what I mean? In all ways and one. You know what I mean? On Friday, the broadcast of the five co-hosts, Jenny Pereira asked whether whether Hillary Clinton represents a threat represented a threat to America. Taylor replied that Hillary Clinton remarks were no threats, adding that they did land in a bunch of GOP ads. As as um, Trump and others Republicans, campaign in 2024 election, I really, I really need everyone to spare me the Fox outrage and the uh, peel clutching about this till Tory or whatever her name said before citing a number of wicked words that have come from the GOP. Little collection of things that Donald Trump, and high-ranking Republicans call liberal on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying, anarchists. Anti-African American, deranged, communists. Corrupt, compromised, groomers, and perverts, thugs and traitors. You know what I'm saying? Charlie, whatever it is. So also a hypocritical posed a hypocritical that she posed that it was hypocritical that put Pete Joe Biden, in Trump's shoes, asking how conservatives would react to if being a Democrat president, were facing 91 felony charges accused for a criminal case. That is fake to me, so it don't make no sense, to even switch it around. Well, liable for sexual abuse. That's stupid again because she, like Jabron said, we see the stupidest in that, and the guilty of fraud, which we see that with the Joe Biden administration and many other officials. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just him. You know what I'm saying? Of if he were accused of spilling secrets. What secrets? We all did the same thing about the country's nuclear submarines. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. You all did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? In all ways and one. So while you're asking these questions and saying these different things, it really doesn't make any matter when the fire comes down and the people have to see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We see the U.S. Embassy in Israel issues warning to Ted Cruz, uh, condemns, what you call it. We see the U.S. Embassy in Israel has issued a warning to American citizens, urging them to take appropriate steps to increase their security awareness following a massive on southern a massive attack on southern and central Israel by Hamas forces. I guess by Hamas forces. But you're saying all the scary stuff, but this you have to come to agreement. What's so hard in coming to an agreement instead of just creating a hard nosed Hamas? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be able to push that whole area into total destruction and destabilization. So how about Instead of everybody talking about Hamas and terrorist group and Jews and this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? Why don't y'all come to some type of peace agreement? Israel can be the one to initiate it, you know what I'm saying? Because you seem to have the power of the big brother, you know what I'm saying? So at the same time, you have a right to bring it to that point, you know what I'm saying? Rather than us hearing about all this destruction all the time, you know what I mean? You have to come to some type of agreement, you know what I mean? Or this will never stop. This will only get worse. Because once you invade or you push in or whatever your cases have done equally on either side before or even after between you two, you know what I'm saying, still comes out to the same thing that some type of agreement has to be made in order to quell these type of things all around the world. Even when we look at Sudan and the refugees from Ethiopia and stuff crossing the border being shot and killed, you know what I'm saying, but nobody running to their rescue with submarines and, you know, super duper submarines and super duper planes, you know what I mean? But when it comes to this situation, you're quick to run to that. Now, this is not devaluing the fact of the matter of the war or what's going on based on historical facts, based on what's causing this. This is based on the facts of humanity and the destruction of people's lives, no matter what the cost of the situation may be. We can clearly see that both sides have their little arsenal. Like Israel might have the so-called country called, the so-called place that they put there called Israel, has the power of the United States. You see what I'm saying? So by escalating this war, you know what I'm saying, it's also another distraction from the original most dangerous war of all, is the war between the United States and Russia. So who is chomping up these wars all around the world is what we have to look at. And why is there no peace agreement based on an understanding all these years, despite even going on with the Lebanese and Hamas and, you know what I'm saying, and Ayatollah, Mini, and all kinds of different stuff was going on. And it was all based on the same thing. Even when we look at Mussolini, you know what I'm saying, going into Africa, you know, and killing the Ethiopians, you know what I'm saying, using the traitorous Moors, you know what I'm saying, and at the same time, you see the Ottoman Turks wearing the same hat they wear, you know what I'm saying, which I've always known what that really is about, but they're showing even films of that, and he was making way for the same thing, that invasion to come. You know what I'm saying? So where we have, and then we're still seeing it today. So where we have the situation now going on, it's time. Don't you think it's time for the world to see it a different way, to bring a peace or light to something that seems to only be of human destruction every time? You know what I'm saying? And it's not about saving everyone, and then again it is. You know what I mean? Because we shouldn't be seeing this type of stuff on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And it seems like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We see Joe Biden, you know, decries the, let me see what we're talking about. I guess he decries the, the unconceivable. I guess he decries the unconceivable Hamas attack and warned Israel enemies not to exploit the crisis. You know what I'm saying? So I guess who put them up to it is the question that we need to answer. Because by now there should be some peace agreement. And every time there seems to be some kind of one, something or someone sparks the trouble all over again. So now American money and American wealth is being going to be spent on this as well because he is quick to send American submarines and planes and everything, I guess, to bomb the crap out of, you know, Hamas. Okay, who probably been there before them. But at the same time, you know what I mean? This is what we see. So they're sending their vessel over there to exacerbate this war, spending all our money that's going to be put upon this. You know what I'm saying? Then you have one in Iran, Afghanistan, which is made a boo boo of, and then you have one over there because you said we are part of NATO, and I don't know when all of us signed the document saying that we are part of NATO. You know what I'm saying? In more ways, with that line behind, you know who agreed to that? You put the American people in an organization or a new world, your biomedical order, and people all around the world of their countries and their leaders can sign us into the NATO agreement, and the people didn't agree with that. How you know every single person agrees with that? You see how the demon Democrats telling you what you're going to do, and you're not going to have anything to say about it? Just shut the up and go home before we deprogram you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be honest. In more ways than one, the increasingness of the conflicts needs to come to some type of end. Is what we need to see. You know what I'm saying? Is what we need to see. You know, in more ways than one. Even when we're looking at even the COVID situation where they're saying new outlets misread CDC data to claim 99% of COVID deaths were not due to the COVID 20 hours ago. And we're not even going to go down the road with that because people need to be more wiser. You know what I'm saying? We see the federal court checks in New York reports receive payments for, attorney referrals, implications for local residents. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, we see that going on. You know what I'm saying? We see the slipping and the slide. You know what I'm saying? But we see the law clerk at the federal court in New York has been reportedly receiving payments from private defense attorneys in exchange for referring criminal defense to them. This was revealed during a conversation with the juror attorney, a juror attorney. No, this was discussed with a junior attorney he was mentoring. The clerk had been referring defend he had been referring defendants with court appoint counsel to private attorneys for a fee, a practice that had been going on for some time. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the clerk refers this practice as an additional income source, which he claims significantly increases his salary. He received substantial payments per referral, which were concealed from the court and other officials. Despite the boasting about the financial benefits, he urged the junior attorneys to keep this information confidential and even suggest his involvement. Oh, I see. Okay. hmm Oh, yes. We see the judge has disallowed of Trump business, refused to stop the New York trial and so forth on. We see here where this is another one that was interesting to me. The great Ron Paul on it again. But we see Ron Paul say that without question, Anthony Fauci, the killing weasel, belongs in jail. This is coming in by Tara, I think it's Sutter, one day ago, coming off the Hill. You know what I'm saying? The Hill News. But we see where Ron Paul, a Republican of Kentucky, said he thinks he thinks that